Hello, everybody. I want to welcome everybody here today to our webinar on Opportunity Management and Exact Macola 10. I have a few announcements to begin with for our chat today. First of which, this is the 8th in our series of webinars that we're hosting. And for those that are new to us or haven't joined and have missed the previous webinars, we do have those all available to share. We've recorded every webinar, and we will be recording today's webinar as well. But I wanted to just get that information to you as in terms of where those are. So they're presently all on our YouTube page, all the pre-recorded webinars, and people can locate that at the following URL. Also, you can get in contact with your account manager to ascertain this information as well. But those are all available at youtube.com/algorithmtv. And that will be where you can find all the previous 7 webinars up to this point. And then shortly after today's webinar, you can also find this webinar as well. Second bit of information I wanted to dispatch is Algorithm's proud to be this year's platinum sponsor of the Evolve Customer Conference in May, which is in Boca Raton, Florida. We do hope that our customers in attendance here and those that aren't in attendance are going to be able to participate in that customer conference. It's going to be a great way. We're looking forward to connecting with you, our valued customer, and then sharing with you some of the things that we're learning, working on, developing, and just saying hello and introducing ourselves to some of the new faces in the Evolve world. Thirdly, again, question and answer is welcome, and we do want this to be very, very informal in terms of you to be able to ask questions. So there's 2 ways you can do that. At the end of Jeff's presentation here, we're going to unmute the phones because everybody is presently muted, and then allow for some cross-dialogue around questions at that moment. But during any point of this webinar, there is a chat box, and those can all be directed to me. I will be capturing those questions that you chat, and then facilitating that dialogue at the end when there's the question and answer point of the webinar. So I think that is about it for our discussions. Again, this is recorded, so we do hope that you enjoy today's webinar on Exact Macola 10 Opportunity Management. And the little blurb about it is this will show you the way that you're able to leverage Exact Macola 10 to manage everything related to a sales opportunity. So that's a lot to go into today. So without further ado, we're going to pass the ball to Jeff so we can get started.
Thank you, Carl. I appreciate your introduction. Thank you, everybody, for taking some time out of your day to talk about sales opportunity management in Exact Macola 10. I'm very excited to talk about this topic because, as the old adage says, the lifeblood of every business is sales, and revenue to the bottom line comes directly from sales. Now, one of the things about Exact Macola 10 that really is exciting not only our customers but those of us here at Algorithm is the way that Exact Macola 10 can be configured or personalized to your specific business and your specific needs in using the system on a daily basis. The flexibility that comes with Exact Macola 10 translates directly into the opportunity management component of EM10. Now, what I would like to do, first of all, you can see from my desktop, I'm sharing my screen. I want to make sure, Carl, can everybody see my screen okay? Okay, all right, great. Now, this is the Sales Manager workspace that comes out of the box with the Exact Macola 10. You can see it provides some metrics on open orders, sales management, sales scorecard, year-over-year comparisons, and so forth. Now, from this particular workspace, the sales manager actually can navigate into the opportunity management component of Exact Macola 10 in a variety of ways. And that's, again, one of the key flexible features of Exact Macola 10, that you can navigate several different ways to the opportunity management module in EM10. The sales manager in his workspace or in her workspace can access, for instance, under processes, entries, and reports up here at the top of the workspace, information related to opportunity management. As you can see here under entries, opportunity management, and actually the sales manager can go right from this workspace into a new opportunity card. Now, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, so I'm going to go ahead and close this opportunity card. We will come back to this in a few minutes, but first I want to show you a couple of the other ways that you can navigate within EM10. I'm sure that many of you are aware, either from previous webinars that you've attended or other demonstrations that you've seen, that there are a great many ways to navigate here in EM10. You notice on this left-hand toolbar on the left-hand side of the screen, and I'm using the textual view of EM10. You can configure it so that it's a pictorial view, but I like the textual view. One of the reasons is because it breaks out My Work, Create, and Search here on this left-hand toolbar. So if I wanted to go directly into My Opportunities, I can do that here. Or if I wanted to create a new opportunity, I could do that by clicking here on the toolbar. Or if I'm searching for a particular opportunity and I know either the opportunity number or the name of the opportunity, I can put it into this search field and actually go directly to the opportunity that I'm looking for. However, what I would like to begin with, and let me give you a little bit of an idea of the agenda for our next half an hour or so. I'm going to show briefly how one is able to set up the opportunity management component in EM10, particularly the opportunity card, how you can create sales cycles, and use free fields to include additional information in the opportunity card that is important either to your salespeople or to your business. Then, when we go through the sales cycles, I'm going to explain how this allows you to tailor the software, configure the software to your business. This is key because many software packages in the past were of the type that you had to fit your processes to the software. EM10 comes with such extreme flexibility and configurability that you can tailor your opportunity management module and the screens to fit your process. And I'm using the term opportunity management instead of sales opportunities because there are a variety of different types of opportunities that you may want to track and monitor within opportunity management in EM10 that may not necessarily be selling to an end retail user of your product. It may be that your business model utilizes a reseller or a dealer network. It's also possible that you have a mixture of end users and also dealers or resellers. So what you can do is configure the opportunity management for your specific sales type or opportunity type, and that allows you then to configure not only the opportunity card, but also the sales cycles, which we're going to look at in just a moment, to fit your business. And then what we're going to do after we've gone through some of the setup issues that I'd like to show you the flexibility on, then we're going to go into a blank opportunity card. We're going to create an opportunity. Then we're going to briefly go back and navigate to opportunities generally, and then also look at the reporting features because we have these wonderful workspaces here. Obviously, we have a workspace that allows you to look at sales opportunities or opportunities that are created in the opportunity management module and actually look at them in a variety of different ways. So that's our agenda for today. Let's go ahead and get started and look at actually creating and setting up opportunity management in EM10. Now, to get to the setting or the setup section, you want to come up here and go into Customers. Now, you'll notice in this menu, there's Entry, Reports, or Setup. We want to be on the Setup menu. And then right down here in the bottom right-hand corner, you see Opportunity Management, and we've got several different things that we can do from here. So quickly, let's go into Settings, and you can see that generally this is just a way that you're going to set up your opportunity numbering system or the opportunity code system. It also is a way where you can set up security, what roles are able to access the opportunities and the opportunity cards within EM10. But also it is a way that you can set up, do you want to track the reason that an opportunity might have been lost? You can make this mandatory or optional. At this point, we're leaving this optional. However, you'll be able to see shortly the flexibility of adding additional fields, such as the reason lost or lost to competitor, to the opportunity card may be one way that you are able to track not only sales that are won, but sales that are lost and why. So when we come back out of Settings, I want to go into a couple of different items here. One thing is I want to show the reasons that an opportunity may be lost. We've got 3 listed here: could not deliver, project died, or price, but we may want to create an additional one. Maybe an additional one would be functionality or simply unable to come to terms. So there are a lot of different reasons that sales are lost, and this is where you're able to actually create a list that then can be utilized to create metrics so that you can track and perhaps understand better why particular opportunities were lost by your organization. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go back here to the sales cycle, because sales cycle is a critical component of setting up opportunity management the way that it best fits your business and what types of opportunities you actually are able to engage in and realize revenue from in your business. So if we click on sales cycles, I'm going to go ahead right up here in the top, and I'm just going to say show. So it's going to show me that we have 3 different types of sales cycles that are listed or that we've entered and created in the system. And you'll see that we've got a full sales cycle, new site, new sale, and add-on sale. Now, one of the things that you can do right here from sales cycles is we can click on one that's already been created, and you can see this is a 3-stage sales cycle: qualification, quotation, negotiate, and close. Now, obviously, there are many different types of sales cycles. So I'm going to give you this as an example. Please do not think of this as a limiting type of sales cycle. These can be set up and be configured however it best fits your business again. But one of the things that we can do here is we can come in and edit this particular sales cycle that we've already created. You'll notice that when we are in the edit page, you can click this checkbox to make it an active sales cycle, and you can actually define and name the different stages in this sales cycle. But here's what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at another sales cycle that is a little bit more complex. This one obviously has 5 stages: qualification, needs analysis, quotation, negotiation and agreement, and then sales order processing. Now, you'll notice for each one of these stages, and the stages are listed over here on the left, for each one of these stages, you'll notice that there's a request type listed here. What this allows you to do, it's a safeguard mechanism. It's a way of making sure that a particular process is followed. If you have a particular regimented process for your sales cycle, this particular setup page allows you at each stage to create what type of request is going to be created in workflow related to this particular sales opportunity. Now, you can see, obviously, for qualification, the request type was cold call. It was a new site, so we're obviously going to call and introduce ourselves to the customer and qualify. Then we're going to do needs analysis and so forth. At each one of these stages, a different request type is noted as being the request type that is going to be created when the previous request type reaches this particular status. So for instance, if we're in cold call and we reach the approve point of that stage, when we click approve, immediately the next stage is going to be created in the workflow for this opportunity. I'm going to show you this in more detail in a moment, but I wanted you to see that you have the opportunity to define all of these stages in your sales cycle, what types of requests, and it may be a request sent to a manager for approval on a quotation before it is sent out to a customer. Maybe it is the sales manager wanting to have his or her salespeople review the needs analysis with him or her before actually creating the quotation. And then obviously if you're talking about negotiating after providing a quote, more than likely a sales manager or a supervisor of some sort is going to be involved in approving a negotiated price or terms. Now, that is a full sales cycle that has 5 stages. We already showed you one that has 3 stages. Here is one that is a little bit shorter sales cycle. You'll see it's an add-on sale. When we open it up, it has 4 stages. However, if you look at these, sales order processing is essentially once the order is received and the back office needs to process it. Again, we've got qualification, quotation, and negotiation and agreement. Now, these sales cycles are not meant to be the only possible sales cycles. Let's go ahead and create a new sales cycle. And you can see EM10 gives you the ability not only to name your sales cycle, let's call this test cycle, but we can make it active, as I said, by this box right here, and then you can see we can create up to 10 stages in the sales cycle. So maybe we want to say qualify, and then what type of request type? Well, more than likely what that person's going to have to do is make a cold call or initiate the call to the customer to qualify the opportunity. And then when this particular request type has been processed, we want the next type or the next stage of the opportunity to automatically be created in workflow. So let's say that at this stage we're going to do a needs analysis. Now, obviously, needs analysis means different things depending upon the nature of your business. If you are primarily a service-oriented organization, then this may involve an SOW or a scope of work, discovery, and understanding what the real needs are of the customer. This may be simply understanding if they want to buy a particular product versus another product. So needs analysis can be tailored to your particular organization. It does not have to mean one thing versus another. Now, when we're looking for what type of request we want, well, obviously, we're looking at either the description, the ID, or the category. In this case, let's take a look at the category and what types of requests are available for sales. Well, maybe what we want the request type to be for needs analysis would be a follow-up. And once we have actually realized the follow-up task, then we want to actually go into quotation as the next stage in I misspelled that, I apologize, as the next stage in our sales cycle. And so what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and create the request type. It's going to be quotation. And so we're in the quotation process. When this process is processed or realized or approved, then what we want to do is move through until we're actually processing the orders. And for this particular stage of the sale, we want to, again, let's go back and look in the sales category. What request types can we use? Well, obviously, contract agreement would be the appropriate request type. And again, this is not a full list of different types of requests. This is just a sample or demonstration of different types of requests. We can create any number of requests to fit your particular sales cycle, and they can be renamed or labeled however you want. So for this purpose, let's just call it contract agreement is the request type, and then once it's actually processed, then that is going to close our sales opportunity. So we hit save when we do this, and then we hit close. Now we can go in here and look at our test cycle, and it's set up exactly the way that we did set it up. Now, let's go ahead and let's transition from the setup part of setting up opportunity cards and opportunity sales cycles. Let's go ahead and take a look at a blank opportunity. So let's create. And again, I'm over here on the left-hand side in this toolbar. Let's create an opportunity. And you'll notice this brings up a blank opportunity card. Now, one thing I want to point out, we've already set up how the coding or opportunity coding is going to work, so it automatically populates. The next thing I'd like to point out is that each of these fields are not mandatory. You'll notice the orange I sign. That means this is a mandatory field. And if you don't necessarily want what the source was for your opportunity to be a mandatory field, then that's easy to change. All we have to do is come up here, select the wrench and screwdriver at the top of the opportunity card, and you can see we can go to Advanced, and here's where we can change whether each of these fields is mandatory or not. So if, for instance, in your organization you don't want to have source be a mandatory field, then it doesn't need to be. So we're going to go ahead and save it, and you'll notice source no longer has the orange I symbol next to it. Now, let's go ahead and create a sample opportunity. So for this sales cycle, let's go ahead and take a look at the full sales cycle, new site. The description, new dealer. The source, we can create any number of different sources that you would like, but for this demo purpose, we're just going to select website. This is where they found out about us. And then account obviously is a mandatory field because you have to have an account for an opportunity. So let's go ahead, because this is a new dealer, we're going to look at what type of customer they are. Let's go ahead and take a look at Pedals Plus because they're shown as a new lead. So that is now our account. Since it's a new account, likely is, we don't know yet who the key decision maker is, but we do know who owns this opportunity within our organization, and obviously if we need to, we can do a lookup and assign it to somebody else. But in this case, it is Jack McBean's opportunity. Now, you'll notice on this side under sales, I have listed different categories that may be included in the actual planned amount of our opportunity. Perhaps you sell products, services, support, or perhaps you have other types of product categories or services categories that you'd like to have listed here. All of this is configurable, and I'll show you how in just a minute. Now, let's go ahead and complete filling out this opportunity card. You'll notice we can put in 10,000, move to the next one, and the orange I next to that field goes away because we've filled in a mandatory field. If it's mandatory but you don't have anything to put in, you can just enter 0. You'll notice our opportunity is planned amount is $10,000. Well, when's our follow-up date? Let's plan on following up on Friday. And then when do we expect this opportunity to actually close? Well, obviously, if you're just beginning this sales cycle, let's go ahead and anticipate that it's going to be a 2-month sales process. And then what's our probability at this point? Probably very low. So we're just going to say it's 10% and timestamp for remarks, creating new opportunity. And we hit save. Now, look at what happens. The opportunity card, once it's been created, actually displays where we are in the sales cycle. You'll notice right up here at the top, it gives us the description of our opportunity, who the owner is, the account, the planned amount, and planned amount multiplied by the probability actually gives us the expected amount. This is a way that you are able to create a weighted value when you are looking at the opportunities that have not closed yet in your organization based upon the likelihood of those opportunities closing. So you can see that here in this opportunity card, all we've done is create a very basic opportunity, and it's already created the task. This is a cold call for a new dealer. You can see right up here at the top, our task is a cold call. It was created by myself, Jack McBean, when I created the opportunity, and it's a task for myself to actually perform a duty, which is essentially the cold call. So once we have reached the point that we are going to approve this, we hit approve, and then you'll notice what happens. The sales cycle moves us into the next stage right here on the opportunity card. The next request type is already created here for us. The opportunity history is created and takes us to the next stage. And if something during this stage of needs analysis changes in terms of the planned amount or the probability or any other information on this account card, all you have to do is hit edit. You can come in. Let's say that all of a sudden our planned amount has increased. Instead of being 10,000, what if it's 100,000? And our probability goes up to 25%. We'll go ahead and change our product amount here, and we're at 100,000 now. We hit save. Watch what happens on the account card. All of a sudden, the planned amount changed, the probability changed, and that changes what the expected amount is on this opportunity, and it's reflected both here textually but also graphically here. Now, very quickly, I just want to show you the other thing that you can do from this opportunity card. Obviously, you can go into the workflow associated with this opportunity. I can see a summary, or I can have it list those different tasks for me. I can go back to the opportunity, and if there are projects associated with this opportunity, or if we haven't linked a project to this opportunity yet, let's go ahead and link one to it. We've done that. I can hit close, and now if we come over here under projects, again, there's our project. As I said at the beginning, the key feature here in EM10 is that opportunity management allows you to bring together in one place all of the documents, all of the tasks, all of the workflow items, reports, and so forth related to a specific opportunity. Now, this leads me to a wonderful piece that EM10 includes, and that is the integration with Office, in particular Outlook. In Outlook, in older versions of Synergy, you're able to save an email to a particular account, but now in EM10, not only are we able to save it to an account, and this type, let's say that this is a sales quotation. So that's a type of document that we want to save. Do we want to map it to known contacts? No, let's go ahead and pick out which account this is going to go to. This is an email for Bikerama. And then down here, additional fields, you can see we can attach this to a particular opportunity associated with this account. This is a wonderful way to maintain and track all of the communication, whether it's internal or external, associated with the opportunity. And once we have saved that, then we can come back into Exact Macola 10, and if we go to My Opportunities, and I come up here and look in My Opportunities for mountain bikes, which was the opportunity that we saved that email to, and we come under Documents, there's the document that we just saved to this particular opportunity. It's a wonderful way to maintain complete visibility into an opportunity, to harness all of the resources within your organization working on the opportunity, whether they be sales engineers, pre-sales engineers, salespeople. Perhaps it's people in your management that are approving a particular discount for the opportunity. All of these documents can be tied directly to this opportunity, making it much more efficient and much easier for anyone looking for information about this particular opportunity. They can go right here to the opportunity. They do not have to go through a complete list of all of the documents associated with a particular account. Now, what I would like to do, and I see that we're already about half an hour in, the last thing I'd like to show you is to briefly take us back to a workspace. We showed you the Sales Manager workspace earlier. Here's a workspace specifically for sales opportunities. And you can see that we've displayed a lot of information in different ways about our opportunities. You can see we've got essentially a pivot table right here for our full sales cycle opportunities, show the account, the probability, the end date for when it's forecast to be closed, and what the planned amounts are. Down here, because it's a different type of sales cycle, we have a similar pivot for new sales opportunities. And then down below here on the left-hand side, we have different tasks. Also, you can see we have other types of pivots: latest opportunities lost, latest opportunities, overdue opportunities, and then also the wonderful ability to display a sales funnel, a typical sales funnel that shows opportunities that have been won, opportunities that have been, we're almost at the point of winning, others that are still in the process of quoting, and then obviously we lost one here too. You can imagine, obviously this is a limited amount of data because we only have 5 total opportunities. I suspect in some of your organizations the numbers of opportunities can number in the hundreds that would be open and operating at any one given time. This sales funnel can allow not only the salesperson, but the sales manager to get an insight and a view on how well either the salesperson or the sales team are doing in shepherding their opportunities through the sales cycle. Now, obviously, I've shared a lot of information, and if you don't mind, at this point, I'm going to take a breath. I know that there's a lot more that we could cover here in opportunity management, and I would like to suggest to you, if you would like to see more, please contact your account manager at Algorithm. If you're not sure who your account manager is, then please reach out to us. We'll make sure that we get you in contact with your account manager, and we can arrange a further demonstration. Or if you have questions that you'd like to get answers to, we obviously can engage in a discussion to see if this is an opportunity management system that you'd like to see implemented in your own environment. Carl, I'm going to take a breath now. Have we got any questions that we could address at this point?
No, none at this point, but I do want to thank you for that great analysis and an in-depth dive with respect to opportunity management. It is exciting to see the flexibility and the configurability that you do get with these products. I want to make sure that people are aware that this is different in terms of how you can quickly configure. Jeff did this in the course of 30 minutes. And this is all done here with test data that we certainly would love to share and show you how to do this with your own particular data if there is an opportunity there that we can help you with. But at this point, we don't see any typed questions. I'm going to go ahead and select and unmute our attendees. So if there are any questions, we would love to hear from you. Please just do speak up. So now at this point, all the phones are unmuted. And if anybody does want to have a dialogue about any particular part of opportunity management, we'd be happy to do so, but the phones are unmuted. And I do see a question here. Actually, that wasn't a question, but I have a question, Jeff. This is just with respect to the integration to Microsoft Office. So you were quickly able to tag an email-related attachment to an opportunity. Is the same true with Word with respect to Word documents or Excel spreadsheets?
Yes, absolutely. If, for instance, you have a spreadsheet that you have utilized in the needs analysis and sharing of information back and forth between yourself and your potential customer, then yes, you can attach that Excel spreadsheet to the opportunity, or as Carl said, you could attach a Word document as well. And real quickly, I'd like to just quickly, because I glossed over it, another thing that you can do because of this integration, particularly with Outlook, you'll notice up here in my Outlook screen, there is a Synergy tab. And if you click on that Synergy tab, you can actually use Outlook to access Synergy. So if, for instance, I wanted to go and access my opportunities from Outlook, well, look, here they are. This is my list of opportunities from within EM10, and I'm viewing it from within Outlook. And I can access any of these opportunities from right here within Outlook. It's a tremendous integration, and it provides people, again, the flexibility if they prefer to work from Outlook, or if they prefer to work actually from within the EM10 workspace. It doesn't cost you functionality or the ability to access information. Are there any other questions, Carl?
Excellent. No, that was a great response. And we have, just I want to go ahead and reiterate, we are recording this. So for those that, Salesforce teams that weren't able to attend, or if they want to parse this out to stakeholders within their organization to share this information, this has been recorded and will be distributed once it is prepared. Usually takes a day or so for our marketing department to codify this and get it out to us. And then we will make sure to get this to everybody who is in attendance. So we thank you for that. Are there any other questions we can entertain right now? We still have a few more minutes in our webinar today.
I hear typing, Carl.
I hear typing, fervent typing. I do as well.
Take a look, Carl.
And here's a question here, Jeff. I do see some coming through the Q&A box. So we have one with respect to being able to pull sales data. Obviously, this is a part of Macola 10, so it is built around one of those 4 pillars. And the question is here: can it pull sales data from Macola? And I think you did briefly touch on that, but could you just maybe further unpackage that a bit for some of our attendees?
I'm not sure I understand the question, Carl. I'm sorry. Unpack sales data? Are they talking about?
Just unpacking its integrative ability to then leverage the sales data that's occurring in Macola. I think somebody wanted just further explanation on maybe how the opportunity management piece is leveraging the Macola backend on the on that side of the on the ERP side. So as sales are accounted for, how is that all? Is this still leveraging that?
Sure, and obviously there are a couple of different parts to the answer to your question. One is obviously when we reach the end stage of the opportunity and we create that sales cycle for your organization, we can actually set that up so that the request type would then be sent to, or create a workflow request to, the person in your back office who would actually be involved in processing the sales order, whether it's involved in invoicing, whether it's involved in allocating the inventory to be shipped to the customer. It all can be integrated because of the way that you can integrate those request types at the end of the sales cycle. So that's one key component. Another key component is that obviously there is business activity monitoring that is also included in EM10, and we haven't talked about that here, and that's actually probably an appropriate topic for another webinar for us. But using business activity monitoring, we could create automated events so that when an opportunity reaches a particular stage of the sales cycle, it could send an alert to the people, again, in the back office who are actually creating the order or entering the order in the core ERP, sending out the invoices, doing the accounts receivable part of managing that sale, but also it can be used to generate an automatic acknowledgement of the completion of the sale to the customer, thanking them for the opportunity. It can send out an alert to a sales manager or perhaps a service manager who's going to be responsible for managing that sale after the sale. And then finally, the other part of this is that you can utilize all of the reporting capabilities within EM10. So for instance, if we come back over to the Sales Manager Workspace, and sorry, my demo server just got delayed for a second. Here is a way where we can actually use this for the reporting capabilities within EM10 on opportunities. So for instance, when we're talking about projected order revenue, when we're talking about sales history, month to date and year to date, that is actually drilling into, so we're negative $978 month to date. I wonder why. Let's drill into this and see what's going on with this particular order. So again, it ties into several components within EM10. It can tie into the configurable workspaces. It can tie into business activity monitoring if you want to automate processes. It can tie into your core ERP depending upon who then takes that handoff of that successful opportunity to then get the order entered, process invoices, and actually fulfill the order to the customer. Does that answer the question, Carl?
That's great. Yeah, that was a great answer. And we have a few more that are funneling in right before we are able to cut this one. But we have one here that's with respect to the look and the feel of the opportunity sales cycle. One of the questions here says it looks a lot like different groupings of workflows, and how much detail is available in each workflow, and how configurable are the workflows generally. So if you can just help answer maybe that a
Sure.
bit.
Sure. Within the sales cycle setup, you can create 10 stages within that sales cycle. However, each of those request types, which are workflow items, for the stage of the sales cycle, those workflow items and request types can, I don't want to say be extended infinitely. However, if you have 4 or 5 steps in that particular workflow type, before that workflow can be approved and move the sales opportunity to the next stage, then we can certainly either show you how to configure it the way you want, or obviously when we're implementing the solution for you, we can certainly assist you in creating those workflows the way that you want. So with a 10-stage sales cycle, if each of your request types or workflow items have 4 or 5 different steps within them, and that's entirely possible in a complex, perhaps make-to-order environment where you have an engineer or a pre-sales engineer involved, and there are several steps back and forth over an SOW or scope of work. Obviously, we can extend out those steps within the 10-stage sales cycle to be maybe 40 or 50 steps within all of those workflow items. Does that answer the question, Carl?
That is correct. Yep, that was exactly what they were looking for. It's just in terms of the sales opportunity and how it leverages workflows to move you between the steps.
Yes.
How can you essentially create your own customizations in each workflow to move yourself in your process through that next step? So you did show that, which we'll have.
Yep. Yep. Again, if you come back up to under customers and setup, down here under opportunity management, if you go into the sales cycle and we create new, we have 10 stages here in this sales cycle. The request types tied to each stage each of those request types then can be configured as well. It doesn't take what I would consider customization, it's configuration. And that's a distinct difference because that gives you the ability to do those configurations without assistance once you know how.
Thank you, Jeff. And this is, we're about at 1:45, so I hate to cut it short, and we do have a few more questions, so we will, I have noted these questions, and we will address or have the appropriate account manager get in touch with you to answer the appropriate questions. But we have recorded this, so we will be parsing this out to you and the attendees, so you have a copy of this. And I want to thank Jeff for his excellent webinar and facilitating this discussion. It was very helpful for me, and I'm sure that other people have gotten some good detail out of this. But we want to go ahead and close this out and thank everybody for their attendance, and we will be in touch soon. And do attend next week's webinar, which is going to be on EDI. We hope to see you back in a week.
Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you.